Take 4. I just played this game. It's called Code Rapid. It's a free demo you can download off of Steam, and it's a fine little mecha game. It's currently got a Kickstarter and stuff like that. Hey, give money if you want. I don't know. Here are my thoughts about it. Uh, as a big fan of Armored Core 4, this game is not like that. This game is more like Armored Core 6, and I do not like Armored Core 6. I think it was a bad direction for the franchise, but it got a lot of people interested in it and playing it, and it made the money. Maybe we'll get more. Maybe we'll at least get a remake of Armored Core 4 one day. That would be good. But they'll probably screw it up somehow. But let's just focus on this game. And what I'm going to talk about is first I'm going to talk about the controls, and then I'm going to talk about the missions, anyways, and the general Armored Core 6ness and Souls-likeness of it. Though it's not, I wouldn't call it a Souls-like. That wouldn't be quite accurate. It's just set for the difficulty of the bosses. And probably last thing to talk about, just the health management system and why I would really like this game to just copy Armored Core 4. I just want that game again. But let me explain why all these things would be good and great, and I think we all would benefit from it. Starting off with the controls, they're not bad. At least the default controls are not bad. They're not great either. It wants you to do a whole thing where you have your 4 weapons are on the triggers and bumpers. You move and look with you move and look with the sticks, and then all your buttons, your square, X, circle, triangle, are your movement options. And to me, it just feels a little clumsy because the idea is, I get the philosophy behind it. You get into combat, you lock onto the enemy, and then you can then remove your right thumb from the stick and just use the buttons. And that's great in a 1v1, like in this situation right here. You're just fighting one big giant boss. It's okay, you lock on. You'll never need the right stick ever again. But when you're fighting multiple enemies, it's still okay to have it like that, but it's a little clumsy because you're kind of just locked onto an enemy when that enemy you're locked onto could very quickly become the suboptimal target, especially with how fast the game is. You could just do one quick boost and be so far away from that enemy, you might want to engage a different enemy. And if you're locked on, you're going to have to then hit the right stick to switch targets until it gets to the closest target, whatever target you want. How I set up my controls is I said, okay, I'm not going to bother with some lock-on stuff. I'm just going to make it like Armored Core 4. So I'm going to put their version of I would say the boost button, but it's split between 3 different functions, but they call it Ascend. I'm going to refer to it as just generic boost for right now, even though they do have a boost button, but it only works, it's basically a sprint button. So I'm going to call their boost sprint, and I'm just going to call their Ascend boost, because it's just easier for me to wrap my head around that. So I move boost onto the right trigger, Ascend, and I put the dodge, quick boost, on the left trigger, and then I put the right gun on the right bumper, and the left gun on the left bumper. So this way I could look around, I could fly, I could quick boost, and I could shoot 2 guns while looking and moving all at the same time. And then I don't even have to take my thumb off the sticks pretty much ever. I could just do all the functions I need to do to engage in combat effectively at all times. I then put I put their version of boost, their sprint button. I just put it on I can't remember what button I put it on because I just didn't even care. I didn't even want to use it anymore. It's redundant. Let me explain how it's redundant. We have to compare this to Armored Core 4. In Armored Core 4, their boost, so Code Rapid's boost, Ascend, and the third thing I had to mention was all on one button. So in Armored Core 4, if you wanted to just boost around, so Code Rapid's version of sprinting, you would just be on the ground and you're effectively magnetized to the ground. So when you hit the boost button, you just kind of skated all across the ground, and if you quick boosted, you would still stay stuck to the ground. Is when you wanted to go into the air, you'd have to jump. And you would jump by releasing boost and then pressing boost very quickly. And then you would jump and be in the air, then you can fly around, you can quick boost in the air, and if you want to be back on the ground again, you would descend till you're back on the ground. ta-da. And this is how you go from the air to the ground, from the ground to the air. And it all happened with one button. And it was just how you hit the button that mattered. And this is why Armored Core 4 is a great game. They've put 3 functions on a singular button. Isn't that amazing? Also, they were pressure sensitive on a 360 controller. So the amount of boost and thrust you got could be varied by how hard you're pressing on the trigger. So if you wanted half boost, you would half pull on the trigger. If you wanted all boost, you would fully pull on it. This also affected the quick boost, where you can get different kinds of quick boost depending on how you hit the quick boost button. There was more to it than that. It was actually pretty. I wouldn't call it advanced, but I've never seen any other game do what Armored Core 4 did with the quick boost button. No other game has ever done it since. Look it up yourself. It's amazing. Which is why I would like this game to incorporate that. I don't know how hard that would be, but it would be really cool to see the pressure sensitivity being utilized. I'm pretty sure these controllers have them. It would kind of suck from a developer standpoint, because unless it's all universal between the controllers, then otherwise you would have to make a different script depending on which controller you're using, which would be obnoxious. I use that word too much, but it would be annoying, and I feel bad for them. But it'd be really cool to have. It really, again, it gave the players a lot of control and command over the game in Armored Core 4, which a lot of other games never did before and still haven't done. Maybe there's a couple games that I haven't played them, but it's very rare, to say the least. I guess racing games do them, but not quite. A racing game is not quite the same as three-dimensional dogfight giant robot combat. Just a little more going on in a mech game. So I think mech races would be kind of fun to do. I think that's about it I want to say about controls. They're just not. They're not set up optimally. They're set up in a very stereotypical way for these kinds of games, and it's not good. People should stop doing it. It's just, let me explain the whole why I don't like the lock-on system. Again, a 1v1 fight, lock-on system works fine. When you're in a mob, you have to fight lots of different enemies. You're locked onto an enemy. You let go of the right stick. You can no longer control where you're looking. Your character, the right stick is now on autopilot. It's just going to look at the thing you're targeting. You're moving around, you're doing all your thing. You have a bunch of enemies coming at you. You're still stuck engaging the one guy unless you want to take your fingers off the buttons to go back on the right stick to then change your target. But then you have to take your thumb back off the right stick to go back to your movement options. So you're constantly having to move your thumb from looking to moving, back to looking, back to moving, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. As opposed to the way I have it set up, where you never have to do that. You're controlling your look at all times, and your movement options, and your guns. All the time. It makes the game I feel much more connected to the game. And that's a really good feeling you don't get very often. Alright, enough about controls. I think for a modern mech game, it's what I expect. And I am happy that I can fully customize them, which is really awesome, and I can make it at least closer to Armored Core 4. But I would like to see it improved. Next, let's talk about the actual game itself, because I think that'll tie better into the last part. The game plays like Armored Core 6, and by that I mean you're always at the end of every level, you're going to fight some giant boss monster. This boss right here on the screen right now, this is the third boss. Before this, there's like a big giant laser eye thing that you have to go activate cannons, and it just gets defeated for you. It's a really lame mission. And the first mission, at the end of it, you fight a very big stationary boss. It's like a tutorial mission, so it's fine. It is what it is. But it's effectively three giant monsters in a row. So we're right there on like Dark Souls territory of just being like, this is what the game's gonna be about. You're gonna fight some overpowered boss at the end of every single level. You know what? I don't want to do that. I want to do some PvP combat, maybe not even PvP, or PvE combat with mech versus mech. I want a mech. I want them to have a mech, and I want to duke it out. See who's a better pilot. See who's got a better design, and just have at it. I want them to have a bunch of overpowered nonsense, like I am the ultimate AI-controlled Super Saiyan mecha robot, and like, oh boy, here we go. He's gonna kill me in 3 hits, and I'm gonna just memorize his attack patterns. figure out the right loadout for this. In the meantime, I'm just going to die like 5 or 6 times until I finally win. And then once I do figure it out, sure, I'll be able to beat him very easily and I can show off to all my friends. La di da da. I don't care about any of that. I just want to play mech versus mech. I want this guy to go away. You big giant stupid dumb thing, you're stupid. I want you to go away. I want to fight other guy. I want to fight this guy. I'm pretty sure that's just this guy here, but I want a 1v1 or maybe 2v2 or 3v3. That'd be awesome. Um, because that's what makes the game fun. The dogfight, the excitement of the mech on mech dogfight is where these games shine. That's where I get. There's a lot of really gross things I want to say there, and I'm not going to say any of them. I get very excited about that idea and actually doing that. In Armored Core 4, the multiplayer was just amazing. The netcode wasn't great, but also the internet wasn't as fantastic as it is these days. So it was still fine, but it, a good match in Armored Core 4 or for Answer was just like the best thing ever. It was, oh my god, to me, nothing else compares. It's just, so good. But if this is what we're gonna do in this game, we're just gonna fight things like this the whole time. No, sorry, I'm not interested. I don't want to do that. I'm sure maybe later you got to fight other guys, but I'm just gonna guarantee you that like the later like actual like ACs, more for these guys as ACs. The other ACs you fight are probably overpowered. But or like in Armored Core 6, there would be some PvP battles, but they would usually be like the halfway battle. You would fight an AC, and then at the end of the level you'd fight a big dumb stupid giant robot. It's just not enjoyable. It's not a fun experience. Not even exciting. I'm just like, okay, I don't want to do this. I fought against another AC. That was the fun part. Oh boy, here we go. The part I don't care about. So I really don't like that. But these guys are clearly very highly inspired by Armored Core 6, which is unfortunate. They should really be inspired by Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer. Those are the pinnacle of fast Japanese robot fighting games. Those are the gold standard, the platinum standard, the diamond standard, the ultra master, whatever the hell. There's so many tiers of fucking skill these days. I don't even know what they're up to anymore. But anyways, those are the best ones. Now let's talk about one thing that's definitely just missing from this game that I forgot to mention in every other time I tried recording this, and that is the health system. Like that and the stun system. Ugh, that's how I know this game was truly inspired by Armored Core 6. The game has a stun system like in Armored Core 6. You take too much damage from impact weapons, you get stunned. You take bonus damage when you're stunned. I'm not actually sure if it affects you. It might just be the enemy, but it's there. I've seen it, and I don't like it. Stuns in video games they're just bad. They're not fun. They're not enjoyable. Nobody likes look, everyone likes stunning someone. It's fun, but nobody likes being stunned. It's like tasing. People like tasing people, but nobody likes to be tased. People like pepper spraying people, but they don't like to be pepper sprayed. And since I like to pretend I believe in the golden rule, treat others the way I want to be treated, I'm not going to tase somebody because I don't want to be tased. I'm not going to stun somebody because I don't want to be stunned. It takes away from the fun of the game. And then the game just breaks down to a big stun fest. Who does the most stuns wins. And that's just not enjoyable. It's one thing we have like a big giant weapon, like in Armored Core 4, like the bazookas, the whole point of them was to stun. But you had to be really close. Their projectile velocity was generally pretty low. Their accuracy wasn't great. So you had to be in a very specific position to actually hit them with it and cause a stun. And the stun was very brief. We're talking about less than a second of stun. Maybe like half a second, three-quarters of a second. Excuse me, three-quarters of a second. Which is, in that game, is plenty of time. You just have to be good enough as the player using the strategy to realize, I've got to hit him with the other gun. Like, you have to be right on top because that's after they're done getting stunned, they're gone. They're just going to quick boost away from you, and you have to predict where they're going to go next. You can kind of do a stun lock in a manner of speaking, but it takes a lot of skill to actually get the stun lock to work because, again, staying on top of them the whole time is the hardest part of those games. But in this game, you just deal enough damage, and they're just stunned eventually, just like in Armored Core 6, and it lasts for way too long. Again, it retracts from the enjoyment of the game because you're effectively disconnecting your opponent's controller. which is just dumb. It's like dizzy in fighting games. Like there's a reason why a lot of fighting games got rid of a dizzy mechanic because no one liked it. Street Fighter kind of has to have it because it's just a gimmick they've had forever. But like games like Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, I don't think Guilty Gear doesn't have it. Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, all the Arc system work, they don't have a dizzy system. I don't think Skullgirls has a dizzy system. Like I never played the game, but I've never seen one ever happen in a match. Maybe there is one. I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong or don't. I don't care. I don't care. Um, but so that really just needs to go. That just needs to disappear. No stuns. Stuns are stupid and bad. Again, if you want to make it so again like a big giant bazooka, if it hits the opponent, it causes a very brief stun. Yeah, like half a second. Fine. Okay, it makes sense. You hit him with a big giant bazooka. This visually makes sense, and the stun is just so brief that it doesn't really hinder the player all that much. It'll definitely wake them up, but it'll be fine like that. Now I want to talk about like the health system. In this game, you just have health, and then you have 3 repair packs. Sound familiar? Geez, sounds a lot like Armored Core 6. And that's just dumb. We live in the day and age where we know that recharging health systems are just better. They just are, okay? They just are better. This game is not exactly unforgiving with the checkpoint system, and then when you do load a checkpoint, you are at full health and you get all 3 of your repair packs back. The game also does have sort of a recharging health system. As you do damage, you'll replenish your health packs, your repair packs. So if you do enough damage, you'll get another repair pack you can use to keep yourself alive. So it does have a little bit of that, your aggression keeps you alive. So it probably promotes offense, which is a good idea. It's a step in the right direction. But why not just have recharging health? Why not just have like a shield? Now, what I would really like to see is what Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer did, having the Primal Armor system, which is the best shield system ever implemented in a video game ever. The Primal Armor was a shield, kind of like in Halo, but a little bit different. All weapons in the game would pierce through your shield. I'm not going to keep saying Primal Armor, even though I do think it's kind of a cool term, but I'm just going to say shield from now on. All weapons did pierce Primal Armor, and I just immediately said Primal Armor. I'm whatever, fuck it. A little bit. And there was a value that each weapon had called Primal Armor Penetration. That's how much of its damage just went through your shield. Certain weapons had a lot of it, so like laser weapons specialized in just piercing through your shield, while ballistic weapons did not. So the idea was that if you want to do a lot of damage with ballistic weapons, you had to remove their shield first, and then you could rip people apart. And trust me, once your primal armor was down, you could be killed very, very quickly, but you weren't stunned. You could still dodge, you could still maneuver, you could still fight back, you could still run away, you could still buy yourself enough time to get your primal armor back. You're still active in the fight. You just had to be very careful and then play very defensively, or maybe catch somebody off guard by just going kamikaze on him and be like, you never saw this coming. But what I also added in was this balance of your weapon choices. For instance, it wouldn't make much sense to have a weapon that cuts down primal armor very quickly, and then a laser weapon that just pierces it. Like this is a bad idea. What are we doing here? It would make more sense to have 2 weapons that penetrate, having like 2 laser weapons that just specifically penetrate, but that's going to consume a lot of energy, so you're going to lose a lot of maneuverability while you're firing your energy weapons because they're also eating up your energy. You can't fly around permanently and quick boost and fire energy weapons all the time. You will run out of energy, be stranded on the ground for a little while, and you don't want that in that game. You'll die very quickly. It also meant that pulling off the combo of having let's say a machine gun that rips apart primal armor very quickly, and then like a plasma cannon that does a crap ton of damage to a player, but does not pierce through primal armor. Pulling off that combo of ripping apart their primal armor and then wailing them for like 12 grand with a plasma cannon it felt very satisfying. But these things you have to do. You have to think about your weapon pairings and figure out how to make them work to the best of their abilities. Unlike a game where there is no primal armor, I don't think there's going to be any there's probably energy defense and ballistic defense, So, you know, and that was an Armored Core as well, but it didn't. It's just when that's all you have to worry about is like, do they have high ballistic defense? Do they have high energy defense? I don't know. I'll just take two of each and figure it out as I go. It takes away some of that weapon strategy from the game. Another thing about Primal Armor that was good about it was again having that sort of not really because it wasn't health. It was basically damage reduction because you always took damage. It's just how much of it depended on whether you had your Primal Armor active or not. And I just loved that system. I could sit, again, my friend and I would sit outside Starbucks just talking about different weapon strategies and what things were better at what and blah, blah, blah for like hours on it. It made it so there was so much thought was put into like how are we going to build and what are we going to do. So I would like to see some sort of shield system like that implemented. That would add a lot of strategy and a lot of depth to the game instead of just having a health bar that it goes away very quickly. Let's just put it that way. And having repair modules, like no, just give me enough health with primal armor that I should be able to beat this without needing a health pack. Just give me more health. Then I don't need the health packs. I, I don't like this system. It just feels stupid to me. There's something else I want to talk about. Now, I got on this rant about primal armor and moving around and this, that, and the other thing. I feel like there was something else I wanted to mention, but I think that's most of it. Yeah, well, whatever. That's the most I want to talk about. The controls, I would like them to be changed. Um, I'd like to see some pressure sensitivity being used. I'd like to see ascend, boost, and that other button I keep forgetting. No, dodge on the SR button. So boost and ascend should just be on the same button, and then that should be activated through finesse on the trigger. Oh yeah, the quick boost needs to be toned down. It throws you way too far. It's like it's like Armored Core 4 Answer version 1 levels of absurdity. You go way too far. It's uncontrollable. But if you want to make it go that far, but then add a pressure sensitivity function to the trigger, so you could vary how far you go, then that would be really cool. The whole perfect dodge, get invincibility frames, just don't. No, that should just go away. Just make it so all the attacks can be dodged manually. Don't put an undodgeable attack in there that you have to use iframes to get around. That's just stupid. Um, After that, yeah, don't do this with the big monster thing. Just don't. Just stop. I just want to dogfight against other mechs. That's all I want to do. There was this other game just like this I play called like the Deus Ex, like the Demon Machine or Deus Ex Machine or something like that. It's over there somewhere at some point. It had the same thing. It always wanted some big giant robot. When it's like, dude, I just want to dogfight. When I did get a chance to dogfight, it was awesome. It felt really good. It was a lot of fun. It just for every dogfight, there were like 5 of these guys. It's like I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that every single mission. I really don't. Um, yeah, the primal armor system, so sort of shield system, generally the health system that they have based off Armor Core 6 is just dumb and stupid, and there's much better ways to implement some sort of like defense system that would actually be interesting and very in depth. Get rid of the stun. Stuns are stupid. No one likes stuns. No one likes being stuns. Stuns suck. Okay, just get rid of them. Screw stuns. And except for like I said earlier, but if you got a big bazooka, hit somebody with it, they should be stunned for like half to a quarter of a second. It should be very brief. It should feel like it should really just feel like they got whacked really hard, and they're kind of just like, whoa, holy shit, I gotta get out of here. But it should just be like, oh god, oh, I have to sit here for the next 3 seconds because I am so stunned right now. Like, no, just tight, smack across the face, tighten them up a little bit, get back to the fight, and 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 I'm going to end on the good stuff. I know I did a lot of bitching and moaning for about 24 minutes. We'll end on the good stuff. Maybe I started with it. I don't remember anymore. Good stuff is the game is extremely well made. As far as just the quality of the game that I played. It was fast, it was smooth, the load times were incredible, it looks good, it sounds good. It's a very appealing giant robot game. It's whoever did the programming on it, they optimized the crap out of it. And it's also a surprisingly small game. From what I saw here, I think it was only like 12 gigs or something. It's gonna take me too long to find out where that information is, but for what I got, like it might even be less than that. But like even that, like I feel like that's just to these days, that's a pretty small game. So that's really cool. It's on Unreal. It's on the Unreal Engine, but to see it just run so smooth and so well on an engine that everyone bitches, moans, and cries about was very pleasant to see. Whoever did like the engine programming here on this game did a very good job. And again, the art style is very very good. The sound effects are awesome. Yeah, I mean there are very good bones here. It's just the I would say in this case it's more like the nervous system. If we're gonna use like a body example, the bones are good, the skin is good, the nervous system is fucked up. Like it does not function correctly, and the environment we're putting this creature in is also not good because you have to keep fighting stupid dumb giant robots that aren't fun to play against. What we want to do is we want to dogfight more. And that's it. That's all I have to say. I'm done trying to re-record this a million times. I've said about a million times. I probably said awesome or cool or spectacular too many times. So that's it. I'm done. If you agree with my opinion, yay. If you don't, also yay. You're entitled to our opinion. You know what? Go play the game for yourself. Give them support. If you like it, go give them money. I think that this game overall so far is, like, my personal opinion is that it's a 3 out of 10. Again, has the good bones, but everything else about it I don't like. It's almost there, but not quite, and the direction it's going in looks like it's not going to be the game for me. But overall, like, again, unobjective opinion, it's a 7.5 out of 10. It does everything it sets out to do. It does it very well. It's not my cup of tea. It doesn't mean it's a bad game. I just don't like it. I would like to see it. I like to see them look at Armored Core 4 and be like, we want to make that game, not look at Armored Core 6 and say we want to make that game. But it's up to them. It's their game. I respect what they're going to do either way. I wish them the best, and that's it. Now I'm done.